Yes. Moving on to best hair grooming. Now, this one is a nail biter this year because of that skinny kid from Call Me By Your Name. You know, the one who had sex with a peach.
Yeah, he's a tough one to beat, but we'll see. The winner of tonight's award will receive this copy of In Style magazine, addressed to Ronnie Thomas Camberus, who used to live at our house and still has much mail sent there.
And the nominees are Timothy Chalamet, the Peach Fiend.
Our very own alumni poet Brett Salisbury, whose lustrous mane rivals even the most expensive and genetically modified of Wayne Newton's horses.
Rihanna, for being Rihanna.
And Ryan Molloy, for astounding, impeccable gel use and volume technique that rivals even the most wonderful of gods.
Please welcome to the stage our winner this evening, second-year fiction MFA, Ryan Molloy.
Thank you so much, guys. This means a lot. So I'm also going to be reading something about love. Who said whoa? Yeah. Whoa, love. So this is a nonfiction piece, actually. It's the story of a young gay boy's sexual awakening at liberal arts college. And that boy is me. So this is called Yakov. My relationship with Yakov is funny, to say the least. We met on the basement steps of a frat house. He was gay, and I was gay. Both of us were in togas. We kissed, and we groped, and we kissed. We went to a liberal arts college. We didn't have to worry about anyone laughing at us. I hung out with Yakov the next night, and again the night after that. He was from Kansas, but you couldn't really tell. His parents were professors, and he said he wanted to be a professor too. "What are you going to do?" he once asked me. We were in the Jewish chapel. His hand was down my pants, the question lobbed out of his mouth like a brick. I hadn't kissed many boys at this point in my life, and I didn't know if it was normal for a boy to ask you loaded questions while feeling you up. I'd only ever kissed one boy. His name was Adam Hentoff, and he smelled like a designer clothing store. Technically speaking, he was my boyfriend at the time. Yakov didn't know about Adam. They lived on opposite sides of campus. Adam actually lived on the floor above me, and it seemed like a match made in heaven. We'd met a week earlier during the glow paint dance at orientation. We danced a little, then stole away to make out and dry hump on a secluded patch of grass. I told him my name was Ryan, and he told me his parents had almost named him Ryan too. Somehow this seemed like a sign. A few nights later, I went to his room, and we tried to have anal sex. We undressed each other with the lights on and played Sade on his laptop. "So," he said, naked and staring at his hands, "do you want to do it to me, or should I do you?" Adam's penis was large. I told him this as I slid a condom over it. This seemed like the thing to say. By this point in my life, I'd watched a lot of porn. As I stood up on the bed and straddled over his pelvis, I thought about how those boys did it. They breathed in, they arched out their bum, they breathed again, and they lowered themselves, like slipping a ring on a finger. Until this moment, nothing had ever gone up my butt. The head of Adam's penis was the first thing. He tugged on my hips and thrust upward. To this very day, I have never experienced such pain. I yelped, leapt off of him, and ran to the hall bathroom. I sat on a toilet and clenched my thighs, holding myself together. I didn't feel like one of those boys from the pornos. I felt like an old tube sock, inside of which someone had crammed both of their feet. Although I wasn't particularly fond of Adam, he wasn't a dick. We still hung out after that night. We watched romantic comedies and kept trying to have anal sex. It never quite worked. Even with Adam on the bottom, it ended with one of us in excruciating pain. At the time, this did not seem like a metaphor. One night, after watching a movie about a man who gets reincarnated as a dolphin and tries to get his human girlfriend to fall back in love with him, Adam asked me, "Should we be boyfriends or something?" I hugged him and cried, "Adam, my very first boyfriend." But that was over a week ago. I had changed so much since meeting Yakov. We had yet to have anal sex, but I could tell there was something strong between us. We made each other laugh, even without watching movies. It surprised me how easily I ended up dating two boys at the same time without their consent. It always seemed like one of those things that couldn't be done accidentally, like murder or anal sex. I began to wonder if I was an asshole. No, I concluded, I was just very attractive. These things just happen to people like me. And in the same way that I unconsciously found myself in this situation, I knew that it would work itself out with no effort on my part. Feeling like a dick right now. Yakov stopped talking to me when he found out about Adam. I had thought these sorts of things were solved through public screaming matches. I'd envisioned ours would take place in the dining hall. Yakov and Adam would practically start a riot as they fought for my love. It didn't occur to me that when someone actually hates you, really truly hates you, they simply stop talking to you. So he did. For the rest of the school year, he never so much as looked at me in passing. He didn't acknowledge the USB drives I'd leave outside his door. They were filled with Etta James B-sides and doo-wop. In truth, I really did feel bad about the whole thing, but I was young. In terms of sexual maturity, I had barely begun to crawl, and I was not about to stop. Me and Adam kept going for another week or so. We ate our dinners together, we watched more movies, we even began having anal sex without it hurting. After a month of this, we broke up. I was done feeling tied down. I was very attractive, goddammit. Back in high school, there weren't other gays. The girls regarded me preciously, as they would a purse, and the boys just avoided me. Here at Liberal Arts College, I could practically feel the eyes checking me out when I walked into a room, and I learned to embrace it. In that first year of college, I learned a lot about sex. I learned that all penises smell the same, unless someone is either really clean or really dirty. I learned that almost any part of the body feels good when sucked hard enough. I learned that most of the men I fucked looked sort of like my dad. Oh, I got more. I learned that it was hard to have sex with someone and still be their friend. Like most truths I wasn't fond of, I made a game of it. From the moment we first had sex, I counted how long it would take for a boy to ask me to be his boyfriend. 4 minutes was the shortest. I learned that boys really like to talk about their feelings after sex. This quickly became my favorite part. It was as though a penis, when poked around inside of a boy, could unlock the place where he kept his deepest, darkest secrets. After boning for half an hour behind the Coke machine in the game room, Ian Silverman admitted that he didn't know what it felt like to be in love. Ben Hershon, after giving me a blowjob in the shower, told me that he secretly wished he'd majored in political science and that he'd only done 3 years of pre-med to placate his parents. Svi Miller told me that I would have to convert at some point if we were ever going to get serious. He said this after mutual handjobs in the library stacks. I learned that I liked being spat on. I learned that I liked being choked with a hand. I learned that I liked staring deep down into another boy's eyes while we fucked. I learned that most boys found this uncomfortable or scary. Still, some of them liked it and would stare back at me, and that was the best. I learned other things too, lessons, you could call them. I learned what it was like to be told to go home at 3 in the morning in the middle of a snowstorm. I learned what it was like to walk a mile alone with a sore asshole. I learned which kinds of music to listen to after a boy tells you, with or without words, that he no longer wants to have sex with you. Mid-tempo soul with female vocalists. Songs about surviving, about being done wrong, about rejection and finding a way to be happy in spite of it all. These were songs that built me up enough so that I could go back out and have sex with someone else and feel good about myself again. Thanks, guys.